Hey, let's get into it. Um, most of us live with some kind of a plan for the future. It's not always written down, but just something in our heads of what we think, what we hope, what we expect the future to look like, what we're building towards, what we're hoping will happen next. And it's not a bad thing. It's planning is part of life, but there's a subtle shift that can happen when planning becomes like an expectation or a certainty. When those things become an assumption or a demand. And James wants to speak to that here in James chapter 4, verses 13 to 15. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit, and yet you don't know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. James is painting a picture here of a group of people making clear, confident plans of their 5-year plan, where they're going, how long they'll stay, what they'll accomplish, how much money they'll make it. It's detailed, it's intentional, and again, it's not wrong to make a plan and to work towards it. But notice what's missing here, and there's no reference to God or any awareness of their limitation, any acknowledgement that the future is it's not ours to control. James wants to focus on that we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. It's not a threat, just a reality. And so he uses this image of life being like a mist, something that appears briefly and then is gone. It's not about meaninglessness, but it shows that we're temporary. And think about how quickly things can change. Our plans can shift, opportunities open or close, things we expect to last, they just don't sometimes. James isn't trying to make us anxious. He's trying to make us aware. Because when we assume control over what we don't actually control, we begin to live as if we're self-sufficient, like I can make it happen. It's up to me. I will decide. And that's where the correction here comes in. It says, instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, not as like a mantra, but it's a posture, an orientation of our hearts, where we hold plans with an open hand, recognizing God isn't just present in the moment, but sovereign over as well what is ahead. And it shows up throughout Scripture. Proverbs speaks about planning your way, but the Lord establishing your steps. And Paul makes plans, but regularly says if the Lord permits, because dependence doesn't mean we eliminate planning. It reshapes it, or we trust God's ways and God's plan more than our own, and we want his plan more than we want ours. And so what are you holding tightly to right now when it comes to the future? Is it a plan? Is it an expectation? Is it an outcome that you're kind of counting on? What would it look like to hold that with an open hand? Not abandoning it, but submitting it, allowing space for God to direct it or adjust it or change it, because if we're honest, he usually does. Real confidence doesn't come from controlling what's next. It comes from trusting the one who does. Are you willing to trust him with your plans? Wherever you find yourself, God goes with you today.